And he said that's not including, you know, jobs created or any of the things like that. So, you know, it's a huge infrastructure. That's what was surprising when they showed us this 14 miles. You've got these 60, 70 towers that they had set up there, but then buried underneath all these, running between all them, all this runs back into one big substation. And there's lots of buried line running all the way through it. He said you got alternating current coming down. It's converted at the base to direct current. Direct current runs all these, and so many you can only run so many together, like, you know, a certain number of windmills together, and then that line is running all the way back to the substation. And then they built a substation, and then they built, I think it was a 14-mile, I think it's 138 kV line, just to get it back to a 765 kV transmission line. And that's entirely their line. That wasn't built by any other power company. That's their line just to get it to the he said, you know, you got to have the wind, and then you've got to have the access to get it to a transmission thing. So it's difficult to say it'll be for local energy because it all gets back on the market. You know, he said now.
But if we were selling energy to APCO, if the county was selling energy to APCO,
right,
that didn't matter. It would keep our property taxes down. It would,
yeah.
you know, if we had an area in the county that was conducive to build something like that.
Well, Mr. Bear, I'll ask the question here. Does the county need to have some regulation on this construction and siting? And
That's why I'm just getting educated about it.
I remember,
the board is not given any directive on this. You know, it's just something I think we need to be cognizant of for planning. If you're in Carroll County, if you're in Floyd County right now, it is an item that is high on their list because they've got places that it's being proposed, and places that they've got concerns about it, places where they don't want it, or if it is going there, they want to have some say-so in it. And that's one of the gentlemen from Carroll County told me. He said, I'm not 100% opposed to it. He said, but my main thing is, he said, I want to have something in place where we have a seat at the table to negotiate these things, as opposed to it just being here and we have nothing that we can say whatsoever about it.
that's what I was getting at, is siting could be a problem. I remember when I took the training for that they said that the county should have something on cell tower location, which Wythe County never did anything about. But this is something that's in the development stages. To me, it looks as if we should have a little something in writing. Some corporation come in here and buy up some land. We're going to build a tower. Does the neighbors want it, or would it be profitable to the county? Things of that sort.
The one advantage and or disadvantage that we have is most all sites in Wythe County that show up on the maps are all national forest, big survey, or the town's property up here.
Well, does the county still not have something to say about what goes on there?
No. So if the national forest and the federal government decided they wanted to start looking at it, that's the disadvantage. You wouldn't have much say on it.
I'm just feeling things out here.
Yeah.
What would be interesting would be, Mr. Clipper, that you're right. What would be interesting would be to keep abreast of what Carroll County and Floyd County are doing in order to, you know, maybe look at whatever kind of ordinance that they would be.
And I would just recommend, if any of you, have an opportunity and can go to this at the Wytheville Meeting Center.
What's the date on that again?
It's January 18th, next Friday. It does not have a time on here.
I think it was at 5, wasn't it? Didn't we get an email on that or something?
Yeah, we got an email. I saw it.
I got an email about the thing on the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
we
the thing
got
on,
an email on this
on the,
also.
Okay.
I don't think we got,
Really?
I
I
didn't get
did.
one on.
I didn't get
wind.
one
I
on
got one on the
wind.
pipeline.
You sent it to me on the wind?
We'll have to double check. I don't
I got
remember
it from
anything other than
somebody.
this.
The only thing I got was the pipeline.
I know I got,
Okay,
I have
Anyway.
that.
because I read this gal
The
from.
biggest thing
James
is too about the
Madison
one in Carroll County, it's gonna be visible for the biggest part of Wythe County.
Yeah.
And you get no benefit from it. I mean, other than the wind, the power, but no revenue generated anything, but you're gonna have the say in it and you have no say in it.
It's,
Because you get to see it once it's built.
you can't see it from many places in Carroll County, but you can see it from Wythe.
You can see it big time from Wythe County.
I think they're pretty neat.
Is that it?
And it's a perfect location because there's a road runs all the way
I
up
swear I
off
got
that mountain.
something that said
All the way down to almost exit 24 to 77. There's a
Really?
road that runs up top of that mountain.
What's interesting is the Henley Mountain location. That is privately owned. It's not part of the big survey. And the 765 power line runs,
Right near.
crosses right over it. So I know why they're looking at that.
Well, the points of interest are really, they're sort of identifying those things, not that they're really any study areas per se. He
Right.
said that's just sort of identifying where it was, is what he indicated when he had the meeting with us.
Does the county own any land up there where the cell tower and all that is on Sand Mountain?
Town owns all,
Town
town and the
does.
state owns that.
Town would be really, they should go into this because with all the towers up there, they could sell the energy to them.
What's, you know,
And provide energy to all those towers.
that's the best example I can give for like looking at how this thing would be. It would, when you look out Stroop Mountain area, I mean, basically, if put it in perspective to what it looked like from the one we visited, it would run from out Stroop Mountain all the way out to past Lots Gap Road. That's
that's
you know,
how long.
that's what it would be. Now, the other thing is they've got to be placed where wind, wind coming, or that backdraft from the one doesn't interfere with the other, which sort of that mountain range to me sort of runs a lot of the way a lot of the wind runs on the east to west, not maybe it's all coming from the north, but that's one of the things they place them, and that's why they're spaced apart. The minimum I think they said was 3 fan blade widths apart, and I'm trying to remember the length of them. I want to say each one was about 90 feet, the blades were something like 90 feet long, and maybe 80-some feet long. But they had to be that far apart, spacing in between them, just to keep from having interference or less efficient in their process. So it's massive
Right.
when you look at them.
Yeah, the ones that we provide parts for, those are 300 feet tall. And the blades are 180 feet.
The two at Volvo's proposed are 394 feet from the tip of the blade to the ground.
Substantial. Any other questions? Thoughts, observations? Let's keep abreast of what other counties are doing, if we can.
And the last map that's on there, that big map, just shows wind throughout the state of Virginia. And this gentleman's big comment was he really sees a great potential offshore. Doesn't
Right.
affect us, but he really sees the continental shelf out there and some wind that's out there and population area that's around there, that he sees a great possibility for some offshore wind energy farms in the future.
And that wouldn't affect as many people, would be in the view shed. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bear. Moving forward to page 8, the capital improvements program. Is this for information only, or?
It is. Ms. Castle has sent this out to all the department heads at your next meeting.
Okay,
She will have the responses back in, and they will be coming to you all for review and input as well.
okay. All right, at this time, we'll entertain a county report from Dr. Halpern.
One, we talked about the last meeting, the county stickers. Well, it did pass to go, to do away with the county stickers, but it was a split vote. It ended up 4-3. So when you buy a sticker this year, it'll be prorated, through the remainder of the year, and then for next year's taxes, the tax for the vehicle will show up on your personal property, and you won't be buying a sticker.
I have a question there. Okay, we have in our vehicles registered with VDOT, but we have some farm use vehicles. Will we be, whereas we've not had to buy stickers for those in the past because they were farm use, but they are, registration went through DMV, will those now show up to be, we will have to pay for those?
As far as I understand, yes.
So in other words, we
If it's a titled vehicle.
yes, it is. When you want those titles so that you,
How can you not have a
Yeah.
title vehicle?
yeah, you don't want untitled vehicles.
You can't even get
So
rid of them if you don't have a title.
How many, see, those are an additional source of income. How many more vehicles are we talking about?
I don't know, and I don't know if if the treasurer knows. That's why, and I will just tell you, I voted no, because the one thing is that several reports from several counties said, well, they got more revenue. Well, I think the reason that they got more revenue, and I think certainly the reason Wythe County may end up with more revenue is that we're requiring stickers, or we're requiring a $20 fee for more vehicles now. Of course there are exemptions for people who hold titles that have a car lot, or a junk dealer, or somebody like that. But Mr. Bear, unless I'm wrong.
That's correct.
So a vehicle that's used 2 weeks out of the year for chopping and sludge will have a $20 sticker tag for it.
Yes.
Doug, unless I'm misinterpreting it, and again, Steve, you looked at it, is that not where it used to be registered vehicles that were
Tagged.
registered and tagged to run on the road.
Right.
In this, it goes from registered vehicles to titled vehicles, which is, for most people, it's the same thing. I mean, my vehicles, I have a title for them, but they're registered, and they're tagged to go on the road. In some of your all's cases, you've got some vehicles that are registered, but they're not tagged to go on the road. Now, with farm vehicles like that, like Inslee's trucks and stuff, there's no inspection or anything.
Well,
Farm use doesn't have to be, they have to be qualified to.
you have to keep them within the same standards as an inspected vehicle. So, it can't not pass, but it's still
For my own curiosity, is that ever enforced or ever checked, or?
not
I have
until
heard of
recently.
one or two.
Yes, not until recently.